Welcome to Barbara's Bulletin, the podcast where we dive into the latest news and current events from around the world. I'm your host, Barbara, and I'm glad you're joining us today. As we start this episode, let's take a look at the ongoing trade tensions between the U.S. and other countries, including the UK. The recent imposition of tariffs by the Trump administration has sent shockwaves through the global economy, and many are wondering what this means for international trade and cooperation. According to a recent article by Andrew Rawnsley, the chief political commentator of The Observer, the UK government is taking a cautious approach to responding to these tariffs. Prime Minister Sir Keir Starmer has ruled out retaliation, instead opting for a more diplomatic approach. This decision has been met with criticism from some, including Liberal Democrat leader Sir Ed Davey, who argues that the UK should take a stronger stance against the US. However, others argue that this approach is prudent, given the UK's fragile fiscal position and its reliance on international trade. As one government official noted, slagging off Trump, calling for retaliation. If we'd done what Davey is advocating, we'd be looking at 125% tariffs. This highlights the delicate balance that the UK must strike in its response to these tariffs. It's also worth noting that the UK's relationship with the EU may play a role in how it navigates these trade tensions. With the EU-UK summit approaching next month, there are hints that the UK may be looking to strengthen its ties with Europe. Chancellor Rachel Reeves has been using more ambitious language about removing trade barriers with the Union, which could potentially lift growth and provide a boost to the UK economy. As we consider the implications of these developments, it's clear that the situation is complex and multifaceted. While some may argue that the UK should take a stronger stance against the US, others believe that a more cautious approach is necessary. Ultimately, the path forward will depend on a careful weighing of the potential risks and benefits. We'll be right back with more of today's top news on Barbara's Bulletin. Welcome back to Barbara's Bulletin. We're diving into a complex and timely topic that's been making headlines around the world. The Israeli-Palestinian conflict has been a long-standing issue, with both sides presenting their own narratives and claims. Today we're looking at the recent developments in the recognition of Palestinian statehood by some European countries, including France. As we explore this story, it's essential to understand the historical context and the various perspectives involved. The Israeli government has long opposed recognition of Palestine, citing security concerns and the need for a negotiated settlement. On the other hand, the Palestinian leadership argues that recognition is a crucial step towards achieving statehood and self-determination. France, as a permanent member of the UN Security Council and a key player in European politics, has been at the forefront of this issue. The country's decision to recognize Palestine as a state has been seen as a significant move, but it also raises questions about what this means in practical terms. Will recognition lead to concrete actions, such as economic sanctions or diplomatic pressure on Israel, or will it remain a symbolic gesture? To provide some context, we can look at the article by Xavier Abou-Eid, which highlights the importance of France taking concrete steps to support the Palestinian people's right to self-determination. The author argues that recognition alone is not enough, and that France must also hold Israel accountable for its actions in the occupied territories. It's also worth noting that the Israeli government has responded strongly to France's decision, with some officials accusing the country of interfering in internal affairs. The U.S. administration, under President Trump, has also been a strong supporter of Israel, and it will be interesting to see how this development affects the already complex relationships between these countries. As we navigate this intricate web of international politics, it's crucial to approach the topic with nuance and balance. We must consider the legitimate concerns and aspirations of both Israelis and Palestinians, while also acknowledging the power dynamics at play. In conclusion, the recognition of Palestinian statehood by France is a significant development that highlights the ongoing complexities of the Israeli-Palestinian conflict. As we move forward, it's essential to continue monitoring the situation and exploring ways to promote a just and lasting peace in the region. Stay tuned for our final story of the day, right here on Barbara's Bulletin. Welcome back to Barbara's Bulletin. We're closing out today's show with a somber update from the ongoing conflict in Ukraine. Reports are emerging of a devastating Russian missile strike on the Ukrainian city of Sumy, which has left over 30 people dead and many more injured. According to officials, 2 ballistic missiles struck the heart of the city around 10:15 a.m. local time, as people were gathering to celebrate Palm Sunday. The attack has been widely condemned by international leaders, with Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky calling for a strong global response to the strike. The incident comes amidst ongoing diplomatic efforts to broker a peace deal between Ukraine and Russia, with U.S. envoy Steve Witkoff meeting with Russian President Vladimir Putin just yesterday to discuss potential avenues for a ceasefire. However, tensions remain high, with both sides accusing each other of violating a tentative agreement to pause strikes on energy infrastructure. It's essential to note that the situation in Ukraine is complex and multifaceted, with various perspectives and narratives at play. As we strive to provide accurate and unbiased reporting, it's crucial to acknowledge the human cost of this conflict and the need for a peaceful resolution that respects the sovereignty and territorial integrity of all nations involved. As we wrap up today's segment, our thoughts are with the people of Sumy and all those affected by the ongoing conflict in Ukraine. We urge our listeners to stay informed, engage in respectful dialogue, and support efforts towards a peaceful and diplomatic solution. That's all for today's Barbara's Bulletin. Remember to like, share, and subscribe, and until next time, stay engaged.